Namo Ramana. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I begin today's sharing with the prayer and a song from the Ramananjali repertoire, and I'll continue with the sharing. Dakshinamurti Sarambha Shankaracharya Madhyamam Ramanacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam Aharyam Chandrataradi Tam Namas Satvikam Shivam Manasam tu kim Margane krite Naiva manasam Marga arjavat Vrittayastvaham Vrittimashritaha Vrittayo mano Vidyaham mana Ahamayam kuto Bhavati chinvata Aipatatyaham Nija vicharanam Ahaminashabhajahamaham taya Spurati hrit paramapurnasat Idamaham pada vikyamanvaham Ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya Vigrahendriya pranadhitama Naham ekasat tajjadam yasat Vigrahendriya pranadhitama Naham ekasat tajjadam yasat Yelle hogali Alli ninnade ಗುಣಗಾನದ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನದೆ ಗುಣಗಾನದ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ತನುಮನದನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನದೆ ಗುಣಗಾನದ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ಗುಣಸಾಗರನೇ ಗಿರಿ ಉನ್ನತನೇ ಆನಂದದ ಪಥ ತೋರಿಸುನಿ ಗುಣಸಾಗರನೇ ಗಿರಿ ಉನ್ನತನೇ ಆನಂದದ ಪಥ ತೋರಿಸುನಿ ಆನಂದದ ಪಥ ತೋರಿಸುನಿ ನುಡಿದ ಗಂಭೀರ ಧನಿಯಲಿ ರಮಣನು ನುಡಿದ ಗಂಭೀರ ಧನಿಯಲಿ ರಮಣನು ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ನೀನಿರು ಇರುವಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ನೀನಿರು ಇರುವಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನದೆ ಗುಣಗಾನದ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ತನುಮನದನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ನಾ ಕೂಗಿದೆ ದನಿಯೇರಿನಲಿ ನಾ ಕೂಗಿದೆ, ದನಿಯೇರಿನಲಿ ಆ ವಾದ ಊರಿನ ಭಕ್ತನಿಗಂದು ಪುರಂದ ಮರದ ನೆರಳಿನಲಿ, ವಾದ ಊರಿನ ಭಕ್ತನಿಗಂದು ಕುರುಂದ ಮರದ ನೆರಳಿನಲಿ, ತಿಳಿವ ನೀಡಿದ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುವರ್ಯನೆ ಆತ್ಮದರಿವನೆಡು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಆತ್ಮದರಿವನೆಡು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಆತ್ಮದರಿವನೆಡು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ನನ್ನ ಸರೆದೊರೆ ಶ್ರೀ ರಮಣನು ನುಡಿದ ಕರುಣೆಯಲಿ, ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ನನ್ನ ಸರೆದೊರೆ ಶ್ರೀ ರಮಣನು ನುಡಿದ ಕರುಣೆಯಲಿ, ನಿನ್ನಾತ್ಮವೇ ನೀನಾಗಿ ಹೇ ಮಗುವೇ, ನಿನ್ನಾತ್ಮವೇ ನೀನಾಗಿ ಹೇ ಮಗುವೇ, ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿರೋ ನೀ ಇರುವಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನದೇ ಗುಣಗಾನದ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ, ತನು ಮನದನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿಯೇ, ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ. In this song, Muruganar Swami is singing, "Oh Ramana, wherever I go, I only see your own glory, which is shining wherever I go. And I am offering my Tanu, Mana, Dana to you, and I am asking you only one thing. Show me the way to eternal happiness, a life filled with happiness. That happiness which is not mixed with fear, anxiety, and worries, sometimes pleasure, sometimes sorrow. But I am begging you to give me that state of happiness which is eternal, which is all the time available." And Ramana says, you are that happiness. You are that eternal happiness, bliss, Satchit Ananda. That is what you are. You are ever existing. You are full of awareness and you are limitless bliss. Ramana is telling, but we say, no, Ramana, you say our very nature is Satchitananda, but I don't feel it that way. I am not experiencing that Ananda. Please explain it to me properly. Please explain it to me like a guru who blessed that devotee from Vadavur. There was a devotee called from the Vadavur, a village in Tamil Nadu. And that place, Vadavur, because he came from that place, he was called Vadavurar. And he was very, very well versed in all the Vedas and the Shastras and all the subjects. So he was appointed as a minister in one king's court. And although he was doing his worldly activities of advising in various matters to the king, his mind was constantly yearning to meet a guru who would teach him the truth. So his heart was always seeking the truth. And an opportunity came. Raja wanted some good horses for the kingdom. So he was asking his ministers if somebody could go to the port that is near the beach, where they would get the horses from the Arabic countries so that they can purchase them and bring them to the kingdom. So he was asking which minister would be ready to go and bargain and get a good deal for these horses and bring the right horses, the right suitable, strong horses to the kingdom. And this Vadaurar, who later would become Manikya Vachakar, he told Raja, I will go and do this task. So he took this opportunity, not only that he would go in search of the horses, but meanwhile, he will also get an opportunity to search for a guru who would give him the right instructions to know his own true self. So he sets up in the journey for getting the horses. But getting the horses is only one reason, but the true reason behind his heart is to go in search of a guru. When a disciple is pakwa, is matured at the right time, Ramana says that we are all searching, we are all praying to God only for fulfilling our desires. So God is very, very compassionate. So he fulfills all our desires one by one by one. So at one point in our lives, we understand, oh my God, whatever I am desiring, the God is so compassionate. I am getting all that I'm desiring. And sometimes I don't desire few things. He has given us, knowing that we will require all these things. So the God is taking care of us so well. At one point, we will stop desiring what God is giving, but we will start desiring God Himself. At that point of time, when we desire only the God, we don't want anything else, we are only in love with the Supreme. That Supreme who is there everywhere and who is there within each one of us, he manifests as a guru and he appears in our lives. And that guru leads us to the truth and he leads us to understand the presence of God everywhere and the presence of God within each one of us. And Ramana says that guru can come in any form. It's not that he has to take a human form. For Dattatreya, there are 24 gurus who are all various things in the nature. And this Vadaurar, Manikya Vachakar, is going in search of a guru and he reaches a place called Perindurai. And in that Perindurai, he goes and has the darshan of the Shivalinga there, the Shiva's temple, and he is going round the temple premises, Pradakshina, and in the temple Prakaram, there is a tree called Kurundai Maram. And under that Kurundai Maram, there is one young sage. And it is described that young sage is only wearing a kaupeenam and he is sitting. And he has a set of students who are all sitting and he is giving Upadesha in Mauna. In silence, he is giving the Upadesha. As soon as Manikya Vachakar sees this young sage, he falls at the feet of that young sage and says, I have found my guru. This is the guru I am searching for. I have found it. Then as soon as he realizes this, the guru and the disciples, everybody vanish. And he is wondering, oh Shiva, you blessed me with a guru. And before I could get an instruction from him, he disappeared. And there is an Akashvani from Shiva. He says, oh, Manikya Vachakar, you be here and you sing the glory of the divine. And you be here and you help in the renovation of this temple in Perindurai. And he tells this. And then the Manikya Vachakar has got the instruction what has to be done. Here, Shiva has told him to stay here and look after the temple and be here and sing his glory. So Manikya Vachakar continues and he is speaking. So his Vachaka, his poetry is so beautiful. It is like Manikyam, like gems. So he gets the name Manikya Vachakar, and he is singing the glory of the divine. And the story reveals that the Raja gets to know that this Manikya Vachakar has uh, spent all the money in the renovation of the temple, and the no money has been spent in getting the horses. So he is brought back to the kingdom and he is put into jail. And in the jail, Manikya Vachakar says that Shiva, the horses are going to come on this specific day. On this Paurnami day, the horses are going to come. That is what the instruction from Shiva. So he told that to Raja, and Raja waits for that day. And on that day, a hunter comes. A hunter comes with lot of beautiful horses. And what has this hunter done? The Shiva, who is the Adi hunter, he has changed the foxes into the horses, and he has brought them to the city, to the kingdom, and the Raja, he releases Manikya Vachakar, and all these horses are put back into the shed where all the other horses are kept. The foxes wearing the mask of the horses have been put into the shed, and Manikya Vachakar is released. And in the night, what happens? All these horses, they change back to foxes, and these foxes, they eat away all the other horses in the shed, and they move here and there in the kingdom, creating terror in the kingdom. And the Raja gets to hear this news, and he says, oh, Manikya Vachakar has tricked us. And again he is put back to the jail. And to reveal the glory of Manikya Vachakar, the river, the Vaigai river, which flows in Madurai, it starts flooding. And the Raja says, oh, to protect the city from this flood, a bund has to be built. So when they start, they say, from every house, one person should come to build the bund to save the city from the flood. So everybody instructed, there is a information spread that from every house, one person should be sent to do the work of building the bund, putting the mud and the stones. Otherwise, if no person is coming from a house, then they will be punished severely. And there is this old grandma called Vandi Pati. And that Vandi Pati does not have anybody. She's an orphan and she does not have any kids, any kith and kin. So she prays to Lord Shiva, oh Shiva, you are the only one for me. You have to save me. You have to find a solution. And Shiva listens to this prayer of Vandi Pati, and he comes in a disguise of a servant. And he says, oh Pati, oh grandma, do you have any work for me? And Vandi Pati says, yes, I have work. Somebody has to go on my behalf and they have to do the work in building the bund for the Vaigai river, which is flooding. But the thing is, I don't have any money to give you. I am a poor lady. I prepare puttu, a special rice dish that I make, and I sell this dish and I make my living. So I don't have any money. What I can offer you is the puttus that I make. Some puttus do not, they all break. And those broken puttus cannot be given to the customers. So all the broken puttus, I will offer it to you. Can you go and do the work on my behalf? And the servant agrees readily. And she tries to make the puttu, and all the puttu are broken. And she says, no puttu has come in shape. So everything is for you. That is what I had promised. So take everything. And this young servant, he eats up all the puttu, and the extra puttus that is left, he takes it packed in his cloth, and he goes to the place where he has to work. And there, when he reaches there, he simply wastes all the time playing with all the people there, making them sing and dance. And after singing and dancing, he is tired. Then he goes back to a shady place and he finishes off all those other puttu which is left. And after eating so much, he thinks that he should take some rest. So he is lying down under the shade, and everybody is working. But this young servant who has come from the Vandi party's house is not working at all. And the soldiers go and try to wake him up. He is not waking up. And they go and complain to the king who is coming for inspection. Oh, king, there is this one person who is not doing any work, and he is disturbing others also. From which house has he come? Asks the king. And they say he comes from that Vandi party's house. And the king tries to wake him up, but of no use. He is not listening to the call of the king. So king says, get me a cane. And he takes one with a cane and hits one on the back of that servant. And as soon as he hit one on that servant, Raja and all the people working there and all the soldiers, everybody feels the pain. And the Raja is wondering, what is this? Is this a Mayavi, a magician? And he picks up his cane and he hits once again to that servant. And again, everybody feels the same pain and everybody cries out, oh, Raja, stop beating that person. You are beating that person, but we are all feeling the hurt. And then the Raja realizes that this is not an ordinary person. Who is he? He reveals himself as Shiva, and he disappears and appears as in his true form as Shiva and says, oh Raja, I am Shiva who had come in the disguise to teach you a lesson. I have come to show you the glory of Manikyavachakari. He is a great one. And when the great ones are troubled, this flood and other calamities happen. So right now, go and release Manikyavachakar and understand this truth that I am present in all the beings. So we could see that because when that Shiva was hit, everybody got the pain. So Shiva is there in every heart to reveal this truth. I performed this sport, this Leela, says Shiva and disappears. And that is how Manikyavachakar's glory comes to be revealed to the whole world, and he is released. And Manikyavachakar continues singing the glory of Shiva. So Ramana is that guru who has come into our lives to make us realize that we are actually the Shiva Tattva. We are Satchit Ananda. And we are not what we actually think we are. We think we are this body. We think we are this mind which is having great ideas. We think we are the intellect which knows what is right and what is wrong. And sometimes we think we are a set of something unknown, some vasanas, which is making us do so many things, strange things. We think we are that. We don't even understand ourselves. So we think that unknown thing is us. But Ramana has come to make us realize that none of these is our own true nature. But we are beyond this. All these that we think that we are only the masks that we are wearing. And Ramana has come to rip us of all these masks and make us realize who we are. Vigrahendriya pranaditama naham ekasat tajjadam hyasat. If we see the picture of Ramana, we see that he is not wearing anything, just a loin cloth. Why is he wearing only a loin cloth? One may wonder. It is as if to remind us that we are holding on to these dresses as ourselves, very, very dear to us. But we are not the dress. We are all the dresses, all the masks, all the costume that we are wearing, and all the images that we are holding on to. When all of them are dropped, then alone we can realize our own true self. we have the story of a monk, who is wearing a shabby dress of a beggar. He is invited by a very rich man for a feast, for a meal. So he comes and knocks the door of the rich man. And the rich man opens the door and says, "What are you, a beggar? Why have you come? Go away." And he sends the monk away. And the monk goes back to his place. And he wears his usual grand robe with the purple brocade and all beautifully designed robe. And he comes back to that rich man's house and he knocks the door. And this time, when the man opens the door, he welcomes him. "Please come, sir, please come." And he gives the best cushion for him to sit. And nice, tasty meal is prepared for that monk and it is served. And the monk waits until all the food is served. Then the monk gets up from his chair and he unrobes himself. He removes the robe and he puts that robe on the chair. And he starts pouring all the food onto that robe. He takes the soup, pours it on that. He takes all the food and starts spilling it on the robe. And the rich man is puzzled. And he says, "Oh monk, what is happening to you? Why are you pouring all the food on your robe?" The monk replies, "O king, O great one, O rich man, I had come just a few minutes before. When I had come, you had shooed me away, seeing my shabby dress. But I came back with a nice robe, and you welcome me and you are offering the food. So whom are you giving the food? You are not giving food to me. You are only giving food to this robe. So that's what I am doing. That's your wish of feeding the robe. I am doing it." And the rich man feels ashamed, thinking that how importance we are giving on the outer appearance. And we are not even searching within and understanding what is the essence of an object or a person. In one of our dance ballets, Paripurna Ramana, we have a scene where there is a bag which is filled with salt. But the board on it, the salt has been removed and a new label called sugar has been put. And the character there, he calls out, oh ants, come take your fill. Have a stomach full of sugar," says the person. And there is no sign of ants. Ants are not coming. They know. They don't see the label. They see what is there inside the bag. And the ants can smell and understand that it is only the salt. And the character calls the other people around. "Hey, friends, do you all want some sugar? Anybody for a spoonful of sugar?" And everybody agrees, "Okay, maybe a little bit of sugar will not do any harm." And everybody is interested to taste the sugar. And everybody holds the hand. And the person says, "Okay, there's one condition though. Everybody should eat this whatever I give, the sugar, at the same time. Are you all ready?" Then a spoonful of that object has been served. And everybody ready? Are you all ready to eat? And the character starts counting 1, 2, 3. And you can all start having now. Then everybody tastes it. And everybody says, "Thoo, what is this? This is not sugar. It is salt." But the character says, "But look at this label. The label says it is sugar. So is it not sugar?" Then the people say, let the label say whatever it says. The thing inside it does not change. The salt will not become sugar by calling it sugar. So it is salt, is salt. It cannot become sugar. So whatever you may call. So they all remember this line from Shakespeare. What's in a name? What's in a name? A rose by any name smells as sweet. You can call the rose by the various names, but rose by any name, it only smells as sweet as the rose will smell. So Ramana reminds us through this dance ballet that we are paying so much attention to the outer experiences, outer appearances, but we are not turning within. There is a story which my friend always keeps telling about what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says. So the devotees, they would have prepared a lot of sweets, and they say, they go to Paramahamsa and say, we have, Thakurji, we have prepared a lot of laddus, and we want to protect it from the ants. What shall we do? And the Thakurji says, it's very, very simple. Okay, keep all the sweets at the center and you make a circle with sugar powder. You make one circle with sugar powder. So what will the ants do? All the ants will come till that sugar powder and they'll all taste the sugar powder and go back. They'll all take the sugar powder to this one, leaving away the sweet that is there in the center. Saying that we are also like those ants. We are happy with what we see in the periphery. If we find something very, very happy in the periphery, we are satisfied with that. And we do not make an effort to go within, to understand, to find this treasure of sweets, the treasure of joy which is awaiting in the center. We are not ready. We are happy with the periphery. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa reminds us that we should not be like those ants, happy with what is there outside, but we should dive deep within and try to understand what we really are. And Ramana, in this shloka of Upadesa Saram, he would have told, Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvata aipatatyaham nija vicharanam. Ahamayam kuto bhavati. This, from where does this I arise? You seek and you enter the heart, and there you will abide in the self. That is the true vichara. That is what Ramana has already told. But the devotees are confused. What is this I you are talking about? And Ramana is clarifying the I that he is talking about. He says, the I that I am talking about is not Vigraha. Vigraha is this body, this form that we are taking for to be ourselves. Not this Vigraha. Is it Indriya? Indriya, there are two kinds of Indriya, the sense organs. The one is the sense organs which are called the Jnanendriyas, the Indriyas which help us get the knowledge of the world, which is the ears, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and the skin, which gives us the information from the outer world. The Jnanendriyas, I'm not talking about that also. That is not the I am talking about, the Aham I am talking about. Is it the Karmendriyas, the Indriyas which helps us do the daily activities? I am walking from here and there, my legs. I am grasping this and that, my hands. I am speaking. Is the mouth, or is it the organs that are responsible for the excretion, or is it the organ that is responsible for reproduction? These are the 5 karmendriyas which are described. Are these the ones that you are talking about, Ramana? He says, no. All these jnanendriyas and karmendriyas put together, indriyas, is not the aham, is not the ekasat I am talking about. It is also a mask that you are holding. We are holding on to this mask. One mask is that we are this body. I am this human being. I am a man. I am this. I do this. I do that. Is the mask that we are holding on to. And Ramana says, it is only a mask. Throw it away. That is not you. Okay. Maybe I'm the one who is seeing everything. Maybe I'm the one who is hearing everything. Maybe I'm the one who is smelling and tasting and touching. And Ramana says, all these are the activities of the Indriyas, and none of these activities is actually you. Am I the karmendriyas? Am I the person who walks, who dances, who jumps? I'm the one who does all the work with my hands. Am I the one who is speaking right now? I am the one who is eating something and excreting, eating and excreting. Am I this person? I am the one who is enjoying everything. Am I that? Ramana says, no. All these are the activities which is passing by. You are not that. Then who am I? Vigraha, Indriya, Prana. Maybe I am the Prana. I am the life force. And Ramana says, the life force is also not you. Life force can come to an end at any time. And that which is you, the Ekasat, the true reality, the very definition of reality is that which is all the time present, which does not change. But the prana is ever changing. When I'm afraid, it is going up and down. When I'm tired, it's going very, very slow. And this prana, I can control the prana with pranayama. And at the end of the life, the pranavayu stops. So that which stops and changes cannot be the reality, cannot be the ekasat. So the prana is also not the ekasat, the truth, that the real face that Ramana is talking about. Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhama. Is it Dhi? Dhi is the intellect, that which knows everything, that which also knows the thoughts which are rising. Aha, I am having this thought, beautiful thought I have to share. And is that the Dhi which understands that after that thought finishes its work, it subsides? Am I the Dhi? Am I the intellect which is giving rise to all these thoughts and in which everything is subsiding and which is looking at everything as Sakshi? Am I that Dhi? Am I that intellect which manifests as the mind? Am I that? Ramana says, no. The intellect which manifests as the mind is only made up of thoughts. That has already been told. Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam marga arjavat. There is no a thing called mind, because mind is only made up of thoughts, and all the thoughts are fleeting. So you are not the intellect also. And he says, the example which Ramana gives is that in deep sleep, you may have lot of degrees, lot of intellect, lot of ideas, but in deep sleep, you do not have any of those ideas. You do not have any of those learnings. You do not have any knowledge, any awareness. You are unconsciously sleeping on your bed. You don't even know that you are sleeping on the bed. You don't even have the knowledge of your body or existence of it. Then one may wonder, if I am not the Vigraha, the body, I am not the Indriya, the senses, if I am not the Prana, the life force, if I am not even the intellect, Dhi, then am I the Tama? Am I the darkness? That which I do not know. Sometimes I act funnily. I will do something which is not expected me at all. I will go and scold somebody. I will go and do something which is not asked of me. Or I am pushed by a desire to get something. I am pushed to go somewhere. I am pushed to do something else. So Ramana says, the Shastras too say, that these are actually the vasanas that we have accumulated from many, many janmas. And these vasanas, we do not have control over them. It manifests as our various behaviors. through this vasanas, we act like this, or we like few things, we don't like few things, we are pulled, oriented to do some things, and we do not like to do some things. So all these likes and dislikes are only because of our vasanas. And we cannot touch this vasanas by our intellect, because this is subtler than the intellect. It is subtler than the mind's play. So we cannot touch that vasanas. So Ramana says, you are not even those vasanas. Those vasanas are there, but it can be destroyed. You are much more deeper than that. All these vigraha, indriya, prana, dhitama, na aham. They are not the aham that I am talking about, the true face. They are all masks that we are wearing. And all these are only masks. Na aham eka sat. They are not the eka sat, the one true self, one undivided self. This body cannot be undivided, because this body is divided. I have this body and others have other bodies. So I see there is absolutely a difference in all the bodies. I cannot say that I am one body. This is not the experience. So the body is ever divided. And if you say it is the Indriyas is the main purpose of Indriyas is to divide everything and classify everything and to create divisions. So this Indriyas is also not the Ekasatta, the undivided self. And the prana is also dividing. You have one breath, and that breath finishes, and you have one more breath. So there is distinct breath which is coming, and although it's going continuously, but there is a break after every breath. So that cannot be the undivided ekasat. And the mind is also ever divided. It is divided into various thoughts. And this tamas is also divided, because it is not continuous. The tamas is there. You enter that tamas and you are there in that only in the sushupti state, only in the deep sleep. But you raise above, and the play of it is very, very subtle in the Jagrata Avastha. And even in dreams it is working, but it is very, very subtle. So Ramana says none of these are ekasat, the undivided self. Everything is divided. They are all jadam. They are all lifeless. They are all jadam. So don't hold on to any of these masks. Start dropping all these masks one by one and turn within towards that ekasat. But Ramana says, he tells us that don't worry. That sat, the ekasat which I'm talking about, is ever present. It is because that ekasat is there, all these masks have got life. It is because that ekasat is there, this body is working and doing all its function. And because the ekasat is there, the indriyas are doing its work. It is because that ekasat is there, the prana is keeping the body alive. Because that ekasat is there, the mind is working, and you are having any thought, or every thought that you are having is only because of that ekasat. And because of that ekasat itself, these vasanas, the ajnanandakara, the anandamaya kosha that is called, that is there and that is manifesting in various forms only because of the presence of that ekasat. So understand that although all these masks are insentient, they are lifeless, jadam, but because of this life-filled ekasat, this, the true sentient ekasat, all these masks are getting life and they are all doing its job. It is just like if you see, we have this puppet theater presentation in our center. And whenever we have these puppet theater presentation, all the puppets are moving their hands and legs and doing all the job. And they're all telling the dialogues and singing songs and dancing. So if you can see that the puppets are actually moving, you can understand that there is a ekasat, a person who is holding on to the strings and he is making the puppets move. So Ramana says, understand that if all these the layers that we are adorning ourselves with and thinking that we are working, understand that there is a chaitanya, there is a power behind all of them which is making all these layers do its job and work and seem to be as if they're all alive, as if all the puppets are actually dancing by itself. But understand, they are not dancing by itself. There is a Shakti behind it which is responsible for it. So understand this and start turning away from these external masks to the internal reality. And this can happen only through the inquiry. The inquiry of understanding that I am not this body. I am not this indriyas. I am not this prana or dhi or tama. When I am not of, I'm in not any of these, then who am I? When one asks this question, they are taken slowly and steadily to their own true nature, which alone is sentient, which alone is consciousness, which is not jada, but which is full of life. So Ramana reminds us that we need to drop these masks and turn within towards the self. A devotee called Krishnamurti, he wrote a letter to Bhagavan Ramana. And that letter has been beautifully noted down in a diary by Vishwanatha Swami, who has written the Ashtottaram, who was a great devotee of Bhagavan Ramana, who was very, very silent, but he was surrendered completely to Bhagavan Ramana. And whenever Bhagavan Ramana gave instructions, whenever the letters came to ashram, they were seen by Bhagavan Ramana. And Bhagavan Ramana used to suggest the reply that has to be sent to the devotees. And Ramana used suggested those replies to those devotees. And this letter is very, very interesting, because in this letter, they did not know who has written it, but they were all wondering who has written it. It was signed Kannan. And then later Ramana identified that it was actually Krishnamurti, who is the son of a devotee called Ranganatha Iyer. And that devotee had written, "O Ramana, the supreme king of the universe, one day you called me and I came to you and I was sitting at the feet. You told, 'Oh son, you are my beloved child. So I'm going to bless you with the sovereignty of the whole universe. So you be the king of this whole universe and you live happily.' Said, you, O Supreme Father, Mother, O King Ramana." And I was very, very happy. Aha, I'm the king. So I came to the Sabha, the audience hall. And in that audience hall, I saw the minister, the minister. And minister was sitting in one chair. And I could see all the other ministers, all the Indriyas, the eye minister, the nose minister, the ear ministers, and all the senses and the Jnanendriyas and the Karmendriya ministers sitting. And when we are all sitting, all of a sudden, the mind invited all these guests called thoughts. And all these thoughts were beautiful damsels. They all entered and they all started intoxicating all these ministers and the mind. And everybody were going here and there, running behind those thoughts, running behind those damsels who were dancing and singing and entertaining them. And there's a lot of commotion in the sabha. And I am sitting there in the throne and I am telling, oh mind, oh ministers, listen to what I say, listen to what I say. And none of the ministers are listening to what I say. They're all doing their own work. And I say, oh ministers, you are all not listening to what I say. I am the boss. Listen to what I say. I am the king. And none of them are, they're all degrading. Who are you? You don't have any power. We are not going to listen to you. And none of the ministers are listening, starting from the mind minister, the prime minister, and everybody is doing whatever they want. And I, who was so irritated, and I told, please go away and leave me alone. They are not ready to do that also. All the ministers telling, who are you to tell us to go away? We are not going anywhere. We are going to be here. And they are creating all this halla gulla and disturbance in the sabha. And I was very, very disappointed. Then I ran to my father, the Supreme Mother, Father Ramana, and I fell at his feet and I told, I don't want this kind of kingship where I don't have any power. Nobody is listening to me. What is the use of having this power where nobody is listening to me? It's waste. Or you take away the kingship. Or otherwise, please show me the path, the secret of ruling all of them, the secret of being the empire. Please tell me this secret. Said me to you, O king of the universe, Ramana, and you with your sweet smile, you explained to me. When the sabha, there is this bell of extroversion. All the ministers appear. When there is this bell of extroversion, when the attention moves outward, then all the ministers appear. And this mind is a drunken minister. He is drunk by the intoxication of the thoughts. So this mind minister only creates confusion and only creates worry and anxiety and disturbance in the sabha. But you hold on to this incense of vichara. You hold the incense of vichara. When the incense of vichara slowly grows and grows and grows, this incense becomes stronger and stronger. The mind will get detoxified from these thoughts and the mind will become clear. What is this incense of vichara that he's talking about? With that danda of vichara, you need to ask, oh, body, are you the owner of this sabha? Are you the owner of this sabha? The body's reply would be, I am only jada. I am only like a machinery. I am only doing the work which is allotted to me by the Supreme. If the Supreme switches off the machine stops working. So I am not the owner. The person who switches on the machine and gives powers, thus this instrument, this machinery is the Raja, is the king, and I am Jada. I'm only a body, I'm only a machinery. I cannot be the master. Then you continue the inquiry. Oh ministers, oh Indriyas, are you all the owner of this sabha? Are you all the owner? Are you the king of this universe? The Indriyas would reply, no, I am an eye and ears and nose. We are only doors and windows to this body, this kingdom called the body. And we get information, and we give the information to the owner. And we are not the owners. We are only doors and windows of this kingdom. And we are incapable of doing anything. We only give information. If an object is coming, I can only say that some object which is causing difficulty is coming, but the eyes cannot do anything. It has the hand which has to move away and obstruct the object. So we are only information collectors and providers. The indriyas and the karmendriyas, we are doing the daily mundane activities. We do not have any power. So we are also not the kings. And you continue holding on to this danda of vichara. Now you turn towards the prana and ask, are you the king? The prana will say, no, no, I am only providing the necessary resources for the kingdom. I am providing the right oxygen, and I am providing the food and the water that is required to sustain the kingdom, the body. So I am not the king again. Then who else is the king? Is the prime minister? Are you responsible? Are you the king of this universe? And the body, the mind says, I'm sorry, I've been acting like I am the king, but the thing is, I do not have any powers. I'm only a set of thoughts. All these thoughts are coming and I'm intoxicated by it and I'm doing my work. But if you really question the mind, the prime minister, what is your job? The prime minister mind would say, I don't have any job. Everybody is doing their work according to the command by the supreme. The lungs are working, the stomach is digesting, the kidneys are excreting, and all the parts of the body are working according to some divine rules and regulation which has been put and by the divine command. And we do not have any power. And I, especially the prime minister, the mind who think it's only because of me that the whole universe is running, I am actually useless. I'm not doing anything. I'm simply giving a running commentary of things that is happening. I'm simply telling that I like this. I don't like this. This should have happened like this. That should have happened like that. I'm only commenting and giving running commentary. I am not of any power. When the mind actually quietens, then one gets back to that true nature. One understands who is the true king. So with that dhanda of vichara, continue the vichara, have this incense of vichara every moment. At that point of time, the vichara will turn into light. That incense of vichara will turn into light. And you will see the all enveloping light, and all the masks will disappear. And you will understand that you are the light. And you will understand that you are the sovereign king. But the work of us a king is to only abide in his true nature. And everything is happening according to the will of the Supreme. Oh, Ramana, the Supreme King, you please give me this understanding. You have blessed me with this sword of Vichara. But the thing is, I'm simply having the sword of Vichara in my hand. I don't want to kill anyone. I'm very, very afraid. Oh, I don't want to kill this thought of that I am the body. Because I feel this body is very, very important. Without this body, what will I accomplish? What will I do? What will I accomplish? So how will I work and how will I get a name and fame from the people? How will I get an approval from the people? So I'm holding on to this thought that I am the body. I am holding on to these thought that I am these indriyas. They are very, very helpful. If there is no indriyas, how will I know the various knowledge? How can I learn? And how can I finish all these degrees that I have placed as my agendas? And I'm so filled with all these thoughts, that all these images I am holding on as very, very dear, I am not able to use this sword of vichara. Give me the power, give me the vairagya, so that I can understand that all these I'm holding on to are only masks. I'm only holding on to the mask that I am this body. I'm holding on to the mask that I am these indriyas and the prana, and I am the intellect, and I am this tamas, which I do not have control. Give me the power, give me the vairagya to slay all these masks which are appearing only as thoughts. Even the subtlest vasanas which are there in the Anandamaya Kosha cannot be tackled by the mind, but they all manifest as thoughts. And Ramana says, as soon as the thought appears, it is the vasana which has manifested in that form. So quickly ask the question, for whom is this thought? From where is this thought arising? And the answer is that the thought are arising from within me. So quickly use the sword of vichara, the vichara of who am I, and cut that thought and slay it at its source. So any thought that arises, the thought starting from I am this body, I am this indriya, I am this activity that I do, I am this action that I do, I am this idea, I am this thought, they all has to be slayed with the sword of vichara. When they are all slayed one by one by one by one, at the right time is going to come when all the vasanas are going to perish. Ramana says, when the enemy is, when you have to capture a fort, Ramana says that one has to cover that fort with all the four directions, all the exits and entries to that. This one has to be blocked, has to be guarded. And these soldiers, because the inside the resources are getting over, so they slowly start coming out from the openings, and you should be ready and alert. And as soon as those soldiers come out in the form of thought, they have to be slain. And until what time should we slay all these soldiers? Until all the soldiers finish coming out. Everybody has to be killed. We all know the story of how Obava was guarding her kindi, and the enemy soldiers were crawling inside that small hole, and they were all coming one by one. And Obava was alert with her the 1K of Vichara. And as soon as one soldier came, she hit the soldier and she moved him to a corner. And again, she's awaited for the next soldier to come. And this happened until all the soldiers were destroyed. When all the vasanas that are there within us, they manifest as the thoughts. And all these thoughts are destroyed one by one with the sword of vichara. What remains is the Ekasat. And what remains is that sovereign king of the universe. Arunachala Ramana alone exists. And that Arunachala Ramana is undivided. And he is all powerful. And yet full of peace. One will realize that truth, that true face of ourselves, when all the masks are given up. And Ramana says, you don't have to be afraid of giving up all these masks, because it is only when all these masks are dropped, you are actually truly happy. And he gives the example of the deep sleep. He says, in deep sleep, you do not have any of these masks. You do not have your thought of your body or your indriyas, or whether you are alive or dead. You don't even have the thought of your mind and the intellect. You don't even have the thought of all the vasanas that you are made up of. But you are so happy. And every day, at the end of the day, we are all seeking that happiness. We want to go back to the bed and experience that, the joy of being our own self without any masks. Ramana says there may be a king who has a very, very joyous life. He has beautiful queens around him, and has all the pleasures of the whole world. Even that king, when he is sleeping, he's in deep sleep. If somebody tries to wake him up, the king is going to get angry and going to complain. Why are you waking me up? I was sleeping peacefully. So he is going to complain. Even when Rani is about to go, the beautiful, one of his most beautiful queen is going to wake him up, he is going to scold that Rani nicely and send her away. Because that joy of being the self is, is thousands and lakhs and crores and infinite times higher than any of the pleasures of the world. So Ramana says, get back to that self with the vichara, who am I? And you will understand your own true self, which is not any of these masks, but that is the true face. And that true face is so beautiful. You don't have to hold on to any of these masks thinking that they are all beautiful. They are beautifying me. They are covering my all the lacunas which I am having. They are covering my blemishes on my face. But that true face is so beautiful. It is fantastic. And at least make an attempt to see that true face. You can wear any mask you want. Ramana, although he was ever abiding in the self, for some he was mother, for some he was father, for the squirrels he was a tree branch on which all the squirrels could move here and there. And for monkeys, he was one of the great monkeys from whom the monkeys used to take suggestions and advice. So Ramana played many, many roles, but he was ever abiding in the self, which was so beautiful because he was abiding in the self without any mask. Everybody was filled with joy in his presence. And his presence teaches us the beauty of being our own true self. One Pandita who came to Ramana's ashram, and the Pandita started talking that I have gone to that ashram. I have learned so many things from that ashram. I've gone to this ashram. I learned this philosophy from this ashram. I went to the other ashram in the north of India. I went to the one more ashram south of India. And I went to the east. I went to the north. I went there. I went here. So that the Pandit was talking continuously for one day. Ramana was silent and listening. And the second day he came, and again he continued various experiences that he has had. And the third day also he continued with all these lectures in the presence of Ramana. And the fourth day, the Pandit came silently and sat in the presence of Ramana. And Ramana told, oh, this Pandita has also become like us, saying that the Pandita was talking on and on and on and on and on. But after the end of all that had to be told, everybody has to get back to that silence which Ramana is ever abiding in. So we are always, the vasanas within us is manifesting as all these thoughts. And what we need to do is like Ramana, sit there, be the sakshi to all these thoughts, but our attention holding on to the vichara, holding on to the self. When we are holding on to that vichara, the sword of vichara, and paying attention to the self, at one point of time, it is going to come where this Pandita who thinks that he is ruling everything, he knows everything, will subside and will become silent. At that time, you will understand the silence that is prevailing, and that alone which exists, and that alone which is Ekasat. ರಮಣ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿನ ಸೇರಿದೆ, ರಮಣ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿನ ಸೇರಿದೆ, ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ನಾನು ಬೇಡಿದೆ, ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ನಾನು ಬೇಡಿದೆ, ರಮಣ ಹೇಳಿದನು. ಬೇಡುವುದು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? I went to the Sannidhi of Ramana and I prayed, "Oh Ramana, give me mukti." And Ramana asked me, "Who is the one who is desiring for mukti? Who are you?" ರಮಣನೆಡೆ ನಾ ಪೇಳಿದೆ, ನಗುತ್ತಲೆ ಹೆಸರನು ಪೇಳಿದೆ. ರಮಣನೆಡೆ ನಾ ಪೇಳಿದೆ, ನಗುತ್ತಲೆ ಹೆಸರನು ಪೇಳಿದೆ. ರಮಣ ಪೇಳಿದನು, ಅದು ಹೆಸರು, ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು. ಮುಕ್ತಿಯನೆಂದು ಬೇಡುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರೇ? ಮುಕ್ತಿಯನೆಂದು ಬೇಡುವುದು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? I went to Ramana and I told, "What are you asking? Who am I?" I told my name. And Ramana replied, "Oh, is it your name which is desiring for mukti, for liberation? I'm not asking. That is not your, the name does not want mukti. Who is it who is desiring mukti? Neenu yaru?" Then the protagonist thought about it. Then he says, ಯೋಚಿಸಿ ವೃತ್ತಿಯ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಎನ್ನಯ ವೃತ್ತಿಯ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. I thought about it and I told my profession. The profession are all the jnanendriyas and the karmendriyas that we are holding on to. I am the one who is seeing everything. I am the one who dances. I am a dancer. I am the one who speaks and teaches. I am a teacher. I am a singer. I am the person who analyzes and gives solution. So I told my vritti. Adu ninna vritti endanu Sri Ramana. ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ನೀಗ ಬೇಡುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ವೃತ್ತಿಯೇ. Is your profession desiring for mukti? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? I'm confused. My name is not me. My vritti is not me. ಮಾನವ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಮಾನವ ಎಂದೇ. ಅದು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಯೋನಿಯಂದ. What did Ramana say? That is the womb that you are born. ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಎಂದೇ, ಪುರುಷ ಎಂದೇ, ಅದು ನಿನ್ನ ಲಿಂಗ ಎಂದ. ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಮುಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಬೇಡುವುದು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? ನೀನು ಯಾರು? Then the devotee questioned himself. ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ಹೆಸರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೇ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ಹೆಸರಿಲ್ಲದಿರೇ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ರೂಪವಗೊಂಡಿಹ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ರೂಪವಗೊಂಡಿಹ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ಉಸಿರನು ಅರಿಯುವ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ಉಸಿರನು ಅರಿಯುವ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಅಲೆ ಅಲೆಯಾಗಿ ಎದ್ದು ಅಡಗುವ ಜಾಲವ ಕಾಣುವ ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಯಾರು? If I am not the name, who am I? If I am not this body which I think I am, then who am I? If I am not the breath, who am I? If I am not the thoughts which come and go, if I am the one who is seeing all these play, then who am I? Who am I? Who am I? If one holds on to this question diligently, Ramana says, at the right time, the truth, the Ekasat, will reveal itself. All the masks will fall down by itself, and the true beautiful face will be revealed. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I thank all the satsangis of meditation and study circle and Vaniji and Vasudevji for giving this beautiful opportunity to meditate on this verse of Bhagavan Ramana and present it as this manana of dropping all the masks and understanding the real face. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.